Yo, what up, fellow CODE students, bro? Today we gonna be doing a rhetorical analysis on an article called How Artists Get Paid for Streaming by Elio Quinton. Yes, sir. Shout out to the man himself, y'all. Let's get right into it. Today, all we're gonna be doing is discussing what rhetoric choices Elio Quinton uses in order to persuade the reader to support artists more directly. These rhetorical choices being data visualization, images, structure, pathos, and tone. Y'all, time for the first break of this video right here. So right here where I'd say we're gonna be talking about tone.
Yeah, I'm lying.
The video is actually really long, so I had to cut that whole tone section out. So yeah, if y'all wondering where it's at, it's gone. I had to delete it all. But yeah, let's get back into it. And with that all being said, let's dive in, y'all. Alright, y'all, so first up, we got the first rhetoric choice, and that's data visualization. So how is it that Elio Quinton uses data visualization? Well, it's a good thing I'm here because I'm about to show y'all. I'm about to break it down. I'm about to show y'all like what it is in the article and how he's using it and how it helps. Alright, y'all, what up? It's me again. I'm back. I'm about to show y'all basically what I mean by data visualization. So this is me on the actual article itself. As you scroll down, these little the captions right here are going to change along with what's actually being shown. So here we got the artist giving their music to the distributor distributing it to these different streaming platforms. As you can see, these captions break down the streaming process, the streaming royalty process step by step, and it paints a good picture as showing what he's basically talking about. So right here, this is showing that the money from these streaming platforms going back to the distributor then keeps their cut and then gives what's left over to the artist. Keep in mind, the money that these dudes are giving the distributor / label, this is money that's already been distributed among themselves. They take a piece of the pie, they give the leftovers to the distributor label. The distributor and then the / label, they take more slices out of the pie and give leftovers to the artist. This is what I mean by data visualization. It's basically a moving picture that shows you what these captions on the side are basically saying. Y'all, here's another example of Elio Quinton using data visualization in his article. Here we have basically a simulator that with these little sliders that let you play around with these different scenarios, percentages, and everything, just to allow the reader to visualize what these different contracts are and what like these different deals end up being and how much money the artist actually gets to keep. So as you can see, I can adjust track streams. Basically, we're gonna set that on max. Boom, we got that. Artist share right now is set to 85%. Of course, that's not always what ends up happening. Let's say the artist gets a horrible contract deal where the label keeps 50%. This right here, this highlighted area right here, this is basically distributor, artist. You can see half and half does a good idea of showing you how much money is actually being kept from the artist by these different labels and such. And with that out the way, in addition to data visualization, he also uses images to demonstrate how streaming royalties are distributed. Example A shows a pool of streaming royalties. The white part is what the artist gets, and the part that's highlighted in red is what streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, etc. gets a keep from the artists. The way this works is, due to the fact that these streaming platforms are housing their music, they feel entitled to taking a percentage of the royalties that should be going to the artists. They believe that since the music is on their platforms, that the music actually is their property as well. Example B shows a picture of a streaming pool, but it's actually after the streaming platforms already took their cut. So this is the same royalty pool, just after it's been distributed, and then it gets redistributed again, but this time among the distributor / label. The distributor is basically who's pushing their music onto the streaming platforms. Sometimes that's done by different companies and such that are strictly distributors. Other times it's done by the labels that these artists are actually signed under. Some examples of labels are Atlantic Records and Motown. Basically, these labels take charge in distributing their music and making sure that their music is onto these different streaming platforms. But due to the fact that they're doing the artists these favors and other things like, giving the artists sign-on monies, they feel entitled to part of the streaming royalties that the artist should be getting. These percentages that they take out, like their cut, is usually listed in the contracts. Sometimes it can range from 30, 40, up to even 50%, depending on how bad the contract is that the artist ended up signing. These two images right here basically do a good job at showing the reader that the artist doesn't actually make 100% of their earnings, and it gives you like a visual representation to basically know like what exactly it is that you're reading. With that said, now we got structure. So structure, y'all. How does Elio Quinton use structure? Basically, I'm gonna show y'all real quick. Elio Quinton starts off by breaking misconceptions, and then he guides the reader step by step through the royalty process and how it works. This linear structure that the article follows is crucial because it allows the reader to feel like they're on a journey, and it helps the reader slowly absorb the information being presented to them as opposed to just overwhelming the reader all at once. This structure ultimately helps the reader understand the message more clearly. And finally, to wrap up, we're at possibly the most important rhetoric choice that the author uses, and that would be pathos.
Alright, y'all, just in case y'all don't know what pathos is, let me help y'all out, because I sure didn't when I learned about it for the first time. So, according to Google, the definition of pathos in literature is a rhetorical technique and appeal to emotion that persuades an audience by invoking feelings such as pity, sorrow, or compassion through deliberate word choices, vivid descriptions, and compelling stories. Come on now, ain't that tough? Alright, y'all, let's get right back into it.
So, how does the author use pathos in this article, y'all may ask? Well, watch and learn, y'all. So, honestly, if you take a step back and look at the article, you can make the argument that the entire article in itself is built on pathos. I mean, come on, the article starts off by breaking misconceptions that your favorite artist makes 100% of the money that they deserve. He shows you how the money that should be going to them is instead filtered and distributed among the big dogs at the top until it finally reaches the hands of the artists. And what the artist gets is only a small percentage. This sucks because if you really think about it, the artist is the one writing the music, recording it. They're the ones putting the heart and soul into the music, only for their money to basically be snatched out of their hands and, distributed among big corporate zombies in suits. The author also chooses to end off his article with one last call to action. That being, if you are a music enthusiast, keep supporting artists, be it by subscribing to their social media channels and sharing with friends, getting a music streaming subscription, attending their shows, or buying merch. I mean, come on, do you feel the pathos? Do you feel the drive of motivation? I mean, come on, don't you want to stand up and throw all your money at your favorite artists in order to make up for what was taken from them? And honestly, that's just it, folks. That's how Elio Quinton has managed to hijack your brain, and now all you want to do is support your favorite artists. Yeah, y'all, thank you for watching. I hope the message was cool, clean, convenient, and everything. And
Dr. Soderbergh, please give me a good grade.
I love y'all.
In 2006, all these diamonds dancing on my neck cost like 4 bricks. Ain't no way that I be toting on that strap, don't make no sense. He $1 million, but be posted in the bricks. It make no sense, yeah. It make no sense, no. It make no sense, yeah. Make no sense, yeah. Make no sense.